Welcome everybody. In this video we will quickly look through how to set up a Word document from scratch. So here we start with a totally empty Word document. We will build up a nice documentation from scratch, from zero. So let's make a title. And let's create some section titles like introduction. Let's assume we are writing a technical paper, scientific paper, so we need to have an introduction, some explanation of the methodology. We will have some results, of course, and we will have a discussion of the results. But it doesn't look too good right now, so let's create a style for the title and let's create style for the headings. The one core idea is that we usually never touch these buttons here, but we always try to set up styles instead. So these buttons are just changing the style in the selected area, of course, or selected text, but we would like to make general settings. So for example, for the title there is a built-in style for the title, but we can change it. For example, probably we want to make it centered, so we can modify it, but first we can also check the character or the font of the characters. So we can scroll here up and we can check what is the character of the so-called normal style, which is the style of the normal text. Like this. Okay, so this will be the normal sentence, and we can change the style of it. So right click on normal, and here we can modify everything. For example, the fonts, let's use Arial because that's quite usual. 11-point font size is okay for us, and one more change. If we want to see an organized text, we should use this so-called fully justified format. Okay, so we can now create a long paragraph with a lot of text. We can switch it on this button, which helps us to see the otherwise invisible characters. Okay, so we have now a nice paragraph with some dummy text, and what you see is that the lines can end in different positions, but we can also say that the lines are well organized in both right and left hand side. Okay, so whatever I write here, the lines are ending in the same place, but what we could do is to use this default setting. But with the default setting you would see that a lot of line is not organized too well, and our text doesn't look too good. Yeah, so that's why we go to always to normal and modify it to this so-called fully justified form, and then every line ends nicely in the same position. This is one thing. The other thing is that we don't create the section titles with these buttons and by changing the size and so on, because it is not a very efficient way. So instead of that, we just come here and we say that okay, this is a heading 1, and all of these section titles will be heading 1. But if we want to change it again, we can modify it. So let's also make this to Arial. 14 points will be enough. Totally automatic color means that we are going with black by default, and for now it's enough. What you see is that there is no any spacing between these two, so between the section title and the paragraph. We can also manage it not by enters and by pushing empty lines everywhere, but we can just simply modify in the paragraph setting the spacing before and after the section title. Okay, so let's make 12 points space after the section title. It looks good. Yeah, and then there is a small space, but there is no empty line. Yeah, so it's very important. And let's go back to the title. So we said that we will also modify the title. Oops. So this is the title style. Yeah, and we would like to have it as a centered one. We can also check if there is no any indentation or anything, because then it spoils the centered position, but now everything is 0 here, which is good. Okay, the font should be again something similar what we already chosen. It should be boldface. We don't have to use that large character size, so it looks good now. And what else can we do? We can also create a part for the information about the authors. But before that, let's tell that we are using English grammar check. Okay, and now we are giving some data about the authors. Let's say that the author is let's say Daisy Diligent and Clark Clever. They are the authors. We can specify their workplace, so we can give the affiliation. Let's call it University of Eternal Knowledge, or anything else. We can specify some email addresses and whatever we want, and the address and email address. University of Eternal Knowledge.com, and the other author also have some email address. Oops, we can say Ctrl Z to eliminate this link format. Okay, and the other is Clark C. And again, we don't want to have it in a normal format. We want to have a separate format which is applicable for the author. So what we can do is to say that, okay, we want to create a new style. So we are just coming here and we say that create a style. It's based on the normal style basically, and the name could be authors or something like that. Okay, it appears here, and now we can go ahead and modify everything in a centered way. Okay, so we do everything from here and not line by line. Okay, so we are centering it, and it is applied for all of them. Yeah, and even I can create this style. I can apply this style for the normal text if I want. So everything is quite easy to change. Let's go back to the authors. What we do is to a little bit modify the spacing, so we can just add a little bit less space or more space if we want. So we can again modify everything what we already done. We can play around with the spacing with another tool. We will check later that the spacing before two different paragraphs and two different lines are different. We can actually demonstrate it here. So if I create a new paragraph, we see that there is an empty space which is larger than the space between just two lines. So because these are in the same paragraph, and between the paragraphs the space is larger, and this is what we are setting here. So we can modify the spacing between the paragraphs. Okay, so it will be larger a little bit, but we can also change the we can also change the spacing between the lines, so we can say that okay, multiple lines or line spacing, and we can reduce it, for example, just test it. Okay, so it was reduced, the spacing between the lines, or we can actually increase, so we can say multiple and 1.2, for example, which will be quite huge spacing between the lines. Yeah, so we can play around with it. Yeah, I'm just going back here, and because of the difference in the space between the paragraphs and the lines, we can play around with this technique. So we are just deleting the enter from the end of the line, and instead we are pushing shift and enter together, with which we are creating a paragraph here. So now this is the same paragraph, and that's why the lines are closer to each other, and with this we could nicely separate the names of the authors and the other data related to the authors. Okay, and of course, to have a little bit better constructed front page, we can just play around with the spacing of the main title. It would be too much, 20 points, and before 30 points, anything we can choose. Yeah, and with this we created some space after the title. Yeah, so we can play around with it. And what else can we need? For example, we can also use numbering for the section titles. So we can choose here, there is an icon for this. We can choose this one. It says that for heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, these are different level headings. There are different numbering. So if I just push it, it automatically goes like this. And what we can do is to create also some subheadings. So let's say there is some text here. Okay, so these editing stuff are simple things, but we can create something great with it, yeah? And let's say that now this is our dummy text. Oops. So I'm still creating some dummy text, and let's say I have several paragraphs, but some of the paragraphs is below a subtitle or subheading. So let's say we are talking about the method of, I don't know, text generation, and let's say we are later analyzing the text, so we have also some analysis method, and we want to have a second level heading for these titles. Yeah, so we are just choosing it from the styles, and again we can modify the style of this heading. So we make it black, we make it boldface, we make it a little bit smaller, 11 points is okay, Arial, and we also want to modify the spacing. Okay, so 0 point before and 8 points after it, so it looks like this right now. Okay, and it is super easy. So if I want to change anything, for example, the headings can be, I don't know, 26 point font size and red color, then they will change automatically everywhere. Yeah, this is the goal of using these styles here. Or either we can modify the normal style. We are changing it, I don't know, another another style, Times New Roman, for example. Okay, and we can also use some strange color. And now, since I modified the normal style based on which every other style is defined, the font style is changed to Times New Roman everywhere, yeah, and also the color is changed everywhere. Okay, I am doing an undo here. Okay, so we can now go on with this editing issue. Don't forget to save your document always. Let's now deal with the references. These are the literature sources what are used in the paper. We can make this reference section title as heading 1, but usually the reference is not numbered, so we can just delete from here the numbering. But still, if I change the style in the heading, you will see that still the reference style will also change. So I'm just changing it to an extreme large character, and you see it is changing together with the other section titles. I'm just undoing it. Okay, and now the tricky part is coming. So let's say we have some reference items, but somehow we have to identify them because we want to refer them from the text. And in technical, I mean in engineering field and in mathematics and these kind of journals, usually we are creating a numbered list and we are just referring to the numbers from the text. So let's do this. So we are coming here to the menu. We are at home menu. This is the actual Word version in 2023, so probably it will change later, but there is a button here related to numbering, and if you go here you can define a new number format. So I'm just pushing this button, new number format, down here, and let's say that my new number format is this one. So in a square bracket there is the number, and I'm going to use this. Let's start it over. I unintentionally deleted the number from there, so you shouldn't delete this grade number because that is created automatically. I was deleting it unfortunately or unintentionally. So this gray one is just put in a curly bracket, and here you see what will happen. So with this we are just creating this numbered list, and this is the first item of the numbered list. Okay, so I'm just putting here from the copy board, I'm just putting here the data. As you have seen, after pushing enter, oops, if you write here something, after pushing enter the new number is appearing, but I would like to put here the new item, and I'm now inserting multiple lines after copying them from somewhere. Yeah, so these are just fantasy names, and again you see that it is fully full justified, yeah, because it is also based on the normal style. Yeah, so that's why the right hand side is also well organized. And what you see is that this style appeared in the style collection, so we can come here and modify it because we don't want to have this indentation on the left hand side. We just say 0, and now it should look good. Or if you just come here and select all and right click and say paragraph, then you see that it's an indentation, and we don't want to have any indentation, so it looks right now. Good. And we can also reuse this so large tab here by again selecting everything and then saying okay, paragraph, and we can go here to tabs, and this is the default tab. Instead of 0.5 inches you can say 0.25, which looks much better now. And what else can we change? I think it is more or less okay. And let's see how to use it. So let's say I'm trying to, okay, one thing, if I'm inserting a new thing, the style will be the same, yeah. So the tab and everything will be exactly the same, so it's very good. And the main thing is that we can easily refer to these numbers. So let's say in the introduction I would like to refer to this book by Smith and Brilliant, yeah. So I go to the introduction, and let's say the first sentence or first statement is taken from the book, which has the index 1, and then I go to the, I hope it's here, the references, and we should use this cross reference. Okay, so reference is main menu, cross reference here, and we can choose numbered item, yeah. And actually the headings are also numbered item, but also this book is a numbered item, yeah. So I can just say insert, and here we have to be very careful because we just want to insert the paragraph number, yeah. And you see that is here, okay. And to another place, for example here, probably I am referring to the second reference item, which is a journal paper by Clever and Boring. We are inserting that one. Of course there should be a space before the number. And what else is important is that the reference number is also the part of the sentence, so it is in between or before the dot at the end of the sentence, yeah. Okay, let's also demonstrate that all of these numbered items from the reference list should be referred from somewhere in the text. Okay, so now we are keeping this rule, so all of them should be at least once referred from the text, otherwise it means that we didn't really use it, yeah. So if the reader cannot connect the reference to a statement, then it means it is not actually used, or the reader don't know how it was used. So I'm doing for all of them, all reference items are referred from somewhere. And the clever thing is there that if I insert something, so I just realize that I need something else which is inserted here, you will see that after refreshing everything, the numbers will change automatically. So I come here, and what you see is that these numbers are gray, and it means that what was 7 until this point, now it should be 8, yeah. So I am now saying that okay, right click and update field, and you will see that all of the numbers are updating, yeah, which should update. So now it is 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. There is no 3 because the 3 was the new extra reference, and 1 and 2 remained 1 and 2, which is good, yeah. So it looks like this. Let's speak a little bit about these references. I'm just zooming a little bit to have a better sight. So here the first one is a book, and for books actually it should be italic. The title of the book should be italic, and now probably this is the only time when you just really put or push the button here. There will no any problem from this, yeah. So the title of the book is italic, but other things are normal, yeah. So this is the author, the title of the book. This is the press, the company who published the book, the location of the publishing and the date. This one is a format for journal papers. So this is the title, the origin of odd numbers, for example, and the journal title should be italic, and the volume and the number from which the paper is taken are black, or sorry, boldface, yeah, and these are the, okay, so 7 is the volume or the year of the journal, and 2 is the number in that certain volume, and these are indicating the pages where you can find this paper in the journal, and we have the year. Okay, this is just an extra one. We can actually delete it. Everything will go back to normal after refreshing. Yeah, update field, blah blah blah, and everything is changing back to 765 and so on. This is good. So now the third one is a conference paper which has the same format. So we have the authors and the title of the paper, and the name of the conference proceedings should be tilted, and otherwise everything is normal. So this is the page number in the conference booklet or proceedings book. This is the city of the conference, the country, and the date of the conference. If we have some URL or web-based reference, which is very frequent, then we have the web address, of course, but before that we have to say who is the author. The author can be a company like this Abidas, which is very similar to another company which is really existing. We also have the title of the paper or the website. So certainly if you open a website, there will be a title for that article. This is the year of the publishing. Sometimes you find it, sometimes you don't find it, but which is important, you also have to specify the date when you last accessed this website. So this is the date when you was able to open it from the internet, because after 10 years probably it will disappear from the internet, so the reader should know that it was last accessed this time. Okay, and this is a sample for thesis. So again, the title should be tilted or italic, yeah, and the same goes for PhD thesis works. So again, the title is tilted, and there are of course authors, and you can add extra information, probably a sentence about the supervisor, or in case of PhD thesis you can specify the university, the address, and the name of the supervisor. And finally we have a sample for technical reports which are not published in official journal papers, but some people put it on the internet and it is available for other people, and yeah. So this is how to deal with the reference. So it does matter what kind of reference you use: book, journal paper, or web address based article, or anything else. Okay, what happened with our nice headings? It should be boldface, yeah. So now everything went back to the normal, and now we are able to refer to these references. Very good. And one more thing is that probably we need some figures. So let's say we are inserting a figure, and guess what? We are creating a new style for that. It will be called figure style, and this should be centered because figures are usually centered. And I'm going to find some nice figure on the internet. This is our figure. This is János Csonka, Hungarian engineer who built a car in the early 90s. So this picture was taken about 1913. Yeah, so this is now our figure. The best thing is to put the figure caption below the figure. It is always there, but what you didn't see is that I was pushing Shift and Enter, and it makes that the figure caption is not separated from the figure, even if the figure is on the edge or end of the page. So I will demonstrate it soon. So I stand here in this new line and I say references in the main menu, and there is insert caption, and automatically it goes to the default, which is figure. It could be table and also equation. So now we go with figure, press OK, and of course, because this is Microsoft Word, it destroys our formatting, but we can go to home, say figure, and now everything is correct. So figure 1, and this is János Csonka in his car in Budapest 1913, and this is our figure together with the caption. And again, the important thing is that we try to refer to this numbered item from the text, because if we have figures in the document, we have to help the reader to let they know when to look at the figure. So let's say now we are somewhere here, and János Csonka invented a new car which is shown in figure 1, but we don't write it down by hand, but we can refer to this automatically. So we are coming again here to the references, from the home to the references main menu, and we say that cross reference, and here it was, until this it was numbered item, yeah, together with the references, but here you can switch to anything like figure or table, and you see that it is automatically identifying that we have already figure 1, and you don't want to insert the whole caption, just the number of the figure, so only the label and the number, or only the number. Its label and number will be okay for us. Oops, it's not the best way. So you're just undoing everything related to this thing, and the problem is that this is a shift enter here, so instead of that probably we are forced to use a normal enter, which is not good, because until this point the word thought that the figure itself is the part of the caption. So let's try it again after creating a normal enter here. So in figure 1, we would like to say in figure 1, so now we are using a cross reference, only label and number. So let's see what's going on now. Okay, and now it worked, but the price is that we have a normal enter in between, so we have to be super cautious about that. It can split to another page, so it can happen that the caption is in a different page but the figure is somewhere here. But these minor issues can be resolved in several ways, which you can figure out by using the internet. But what we wanted to show now is that there is a quite automatic way to the formatting and doing everything else in this documentation. Probably the last thing what we should do is to Control Z, undo, yeah, is to create an abstract. So again, we generate some text. It is not in the abstract style yet, but we can just modify it. So sometimes the abstract has a different style comparing to to the normal text. Okay, I'll just make it a little bit different. Okay, so we have the abstract end. We can go back and again create based on the normal style. We can create a new style which is called abstract, and then we can modify it so the abstract is also fully justified, which is good. Probably it can be italic if you want. Yeah, so this will be abstract style. Probably abstract title should be also in abstract style, or we can say that okay, there is a separate style for the abstract title. So as you see, you can play around with it. So the abstract title is again a centered and bold-faced style. So here we go with the abstract. Sometimes the margin of the abstract is larger than the normal text. So again, we go here. We are modifying the abstract style and we go to the paragraph, and this is super simple. The indentation on the left hand side can be increased somewhat, and we are increasing the right hand side indentation in the same amount. So after this it's like this, but I don't know why is it abstract style. So the first paragraph on the introduction should be normal. It is normal. Okay, so now our document looks not bad. And actually this is the minimalistic structure for the section title. So every paper should have an introduction, and usually we have some part which describes the methodology. Then we can talk about the results. Here we are showing the numbers, probably in tables or diagrams or figures, but clearly just or purely just the numerical data of your investigation. But we are not drawing conclusion yet. We are drawing conclusion here in the discussion section. Okay, so in the results we have pure data here without drawing conclusions yet. And in the we can multiply this text. You will see that it is nicely fully justified and everything else. And in the discussion we draw some conclusion based on the results. Okay, so we can talk about the result. Did we expect these results or not? Does it agree with other researchers' findings and so on? And we can repeat this paragraph because a lot of text can be placed here. Yeah, but it is important. Which is important? There should be a last paragraph of the discussion, which is the conclusion. So we summarize everything in a concluding paragraph. Okay, so it is again a complete paragraph. And if we want, we can introduce a conclusion section, which is optional, which is again heading 1. It is super easy to set up, and probably we will insert also tables, but tables are going similarly like the figures. So let's say in the results section we will have some tables. So here we are just having some extra paragraphs, and let's say here we have some table. We are inserting a table. We will not going to fill it up with data. We are just creating an empty table. Yeah, some text, and again the table should have some kind of caption. So again we are inserting from the reference menu we are inserting a table caption, so we choose not figure but we are choosing table, and for some reason the caption of tables are always in or above the table. Yeah, actually it can be normal style because it is not centered, so we can choose normal style and we can explain what's in the table. So it's I know the data obtained in our research, and of course we are filling up this with numbers, and that's it. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you can apply this knowledge, especially about this automatic formatting of everything, and I hope you will create a lot of nice documentations with the help of this small video. Thank you very much and goodbye.